when we worry, we put immense strain on our heart and our mind, on our brain. And he said it brings us to a dead stop. Now, it is an aspect of duality. In duality, every circumstance, every moment offers us the opportunity to feed the light or to feed darkness. And when we tend to worry, it is an indication that our heart is troubled, that our heart is not calm. And why is it that our heart is not calm? It's because there is some attachment or some like or dislike, an inclination, or some tendency within us that is being challenged. And if we want to feel that inner freedom or peace of mind, if we want to be free of worry, then we really need to lay the axe to that root. What is it that is creating or generating that worry within us? I'm reminded of some beautiful stories of Swamiji. Deviji often talks about these stories. She said in 1970, their temple dome in the meditation retreat, Ananda meditation retreat, burnt down. And of course, that was a time when Ananda had no money, few people, and it was a difficult moment for them. But however, Swamiji um, uh, didn't let that incident affect his consciousness. And so later in the day, he went into a shop nearby to buy something, and he was singing. He was singing one of his songs. And the lady at the shop was surprised, and she asked Swamiji, "You're singing? Didn't your temple burn down?" And Swamiji said, "Yeah, the temple burned down, but I haven't lost my voice." You see, that ability to find humor, to be able to laugh, not in a sarcastic way, but to be able to laugh with circumstances, just helps us ease the tension, the gravity of the situation. And it's a very important attitude that we want to try and develop in working with worries. We can't fight against them in a negative way with brute, determination. You want to push those worries away. You want to relax into a higher energy. You want to relax into a higher consciousness. Another story that comes to mind is, again, this is something, these are stories I think many of you will already know, but it bears repetition again and again because it just helps us take the principle behind the story more deeply into our hearts and into our own lives. This is a beautiful story where Swamiji was going with a few of his friends to the mountains of Lake Tahoe for skiing. And so they were driving in Swamiji's car. Swamiji was driving, and they came to a stop at the foot of those mountains, and they had to put the chains around the wheels of the car. But Swamiji braked the car a little too quickly, and what that did was it sent that car into a tailspin, rapid tailspin, and the car just hit a bus that was standing nearby. Fortunately, none of the people, including Swamiji in the car, were hurt, and they all got out of the car and looked at the car. The car was, of course, totaled. But Swamiji, he looks up at the car and he notices, at the bus, and he notices that the bus is going to the same place that they were going to for their skiing sport. So he just tells them, well, just let's unload our bags, get onto this bus, and let's move. And everybody was surprised because they were still recovering from the whole moment and the fact that their car had been completely damaged. But Swamiji wasn't thinking about, oh my God, I don't have the money. Now, where do I buy a car? No, he was not worried about any of that. He simply moved on. He said, and one of the ladies sitting in the front row of the bus, she felt sorry for, Swamiji and the car. And she said, oh, your car is completely gone. And Swamiji said, and she said, what a pity. And Swamiji said, it's all right. I would be fine in a week's time. And I might as well be happy today. So, but that's the attitude, the enthusiasm, the even-mindedness, the cheerfulness with which Swamiji faced every moment. I think there's a very deep lesson in it for each one of us. And it's a choice that we have to make. As Master would say, he said, drink copiously from the peace that flows out of every circumstance. And let us remember this in every moment of our life. Master is focusing. See, it's a choice that he has made to focus on the peace that flows out of every circumstance. What we will notice that it's when our energy is low, it's when our consciousness is riddled with the bullets of desires, as Master would call it. That's when we begin to focus, instead of on the light, we begin to focus on the darkness. We begin to focus on the lack in any situation. And the masters remind us again and again that instead of worrying, give your troubles to God. Christ would tell his disciples, come to me, all you who are weary and are heavy burdened, and I will give you rest. And that's the truth, friends. We will not find rest anywhere outside. Circumstances change, people change. We're not going to find our peace or rest there. We need to find it within us. We need to find it in the hope and promise and the consciousness of the masters who are there by our side, wanting to help us. But we need to call on their help. Master said, many people come to me and tell me about their worries. He said, and I tell them, I urge them, sit quietly in meditation. Go deep, pray to God, call on God's help. And then he would say, visualize something positive, peaceful, happy in your life. And he said, keep visualizing something positive and joyful till your worry is dissolved in that joy that you are harvesting through the power of your will and imagination. So this is very important, friends, our willpower. Worry tends to weaken our willpower. It tends to weaken our mind, our heart. As Master said, it puts a strain on our nervous system. And very soon, fear develops moods, he said. Fear, worrying too much about a problem, he said, eventually gives way to moods, and then anger, frustration, irritability. All these are signs of nervousness, of losing control over our consciousness. But the masters have given us tools. And we have to choose. This is very important. Use the power of your will and choose humor, choose joy, choose even-mindedness, choose to be cheerful. This comes through practice. Swamiji's consciousness was not just something that automatically just manifested those qualities. As somebody once told Master, oh, Master, it's easy for you to do it because you're a master. And Master said, but what made me a master? It is by doing that I became a master. So we have to choose. We have to choose to do that which is right. We have to choose to be even-minded. We have to choose to be positive. Even when we seem to think that failure is standing in my face. It's all a matter of perspective, friends. The moment you focus on joy, the moment you focus on a positive state of energy and consciousness, you will suddenly find that the darkness that you thought existed in a situation has suddenly dissolved, that it has vanished, that it does not exist. And that's the miracle. But the miracle is a manifestation of each one of our efforts, which then draws upon the grace of God. And I just want us to do that little visualization that Master gave us. So let's sit upright, close our eyes, call to mind any worry that has been eating into your peace or happiness. Now choose to focus on the opposite quality. And now focusing on that opposite quality, you may go back in time to remember a beautiful memory of happiness, of joy. Or if you do not have a beautiful memory related to that particular quality, you can visualize Using the power of your imagination, visualize a positive, uplifting, joyful scenario that feeds that quality that you're focusing on. And enter into that scenario with deep freedom, with deep conviction of its power to uplift you. With every breath, enter into the details of that scenario, each detail supporting, bolstering that quality. And now let us mentally affirm this beautiful affirmation that Master has given us. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens, allowing God to express through me His perfect love, peace, and wisdom. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens, allowing God to express through me His perfect love, peace, and wisdom. I relax and cast aside all mental burdens, allowing God to express through me His perfect love, peace, and wisdom. And once more, now with deep attention at the point between the eyebrows, I relax and cast aside all mental burdens, allowing God to express through me His perfect love, peace, and wisdom. Let us now share the blessings of this quality of freedom, freedom in God's perfect peace, love, and wisdom. Let us radiate God's light and love and wisdom from the center of our hearts to the whole world, visualizing, feeling this love uplifting all things in creation, giving strength to anyone in need of healing, uniting us all in one spirit. Let us pray, Divine Mother, thou art omnipresent, thou art in all thy children. Manifest thy healing presence in all bodies, in all minds, and in all souls. Rubbing our palms together, let us send out these blessings to everyone. Om. 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.